Welcome to Tough Crowd. I like to do that like one of those plays where the guy talks off Broadway, you know, off stage. Folks, I'm not going to bomb like during the warm-up. Now listen to me. Welcome to Tough. The story today, what do you think, I'm deaf? I can hear silence. The story today is that the government is accused of using the Patriot Act to lock up some titty bar owner in Vegas. Now, a lot of people are screaming about the Patriot Act. I'll give you the list of the civil rights abuses connected to the Patriot Act. First of all, they can check what books people take out of the library. Everyone's like, the library, like it's a sacred... I grew up at the public library. It's a few sincere Asian kids trying to study. A couple of kids like me ripping the pages out of the books because they're selfish and they don't care and they don't want to make copies and steal the copy money that they had. And then the usual degenerates that would hang out in a place where kids like have to use the bathroom and have bodily functions, you know? That's the library, the great sacred library. Next in the Patriot Act, the Orwellian, you got access to medical records and college transcripts. Woo! What could you possibly have to hide in either of these stupid forms? That you got a C in economics and then chlamydia twice? All right. 3 times, if I'm going to be honest, but look. Now, first of all, this Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, they like to call him, the deadliest serial killer in the nation's history, escaped from the death penalty by promising to show all the bodies of the victims like he bargained with the people that were dead. Should this be allowed to happen, Franklin? What do you think of this kind of nonsense?
I think he used what he had to do to try to save his life. You know, basically, I would probably do the same thing, you know.
The killing part or just the negotiating?
No, I haven't gone to the killing part yet. No, but the negotiate, hell yeah.
But how do we know? You were in Australia, so you've been in so much in Australia, you can probably commit murders, and then when the heat comes on, you come back here.
I didn't know the heat was on in Australia for free.
What about New Zealand? Have you ever been there? That seems kind of creepy.
New Zealand. I've been in New Zealand, yeah.
What's that like? Weird?
No, it's cool. I mean, in Australia, like, Australia doesn't have, they don't have any guns over there. I mean, all their crimes are with knives, all right? So
like Paul Hogan, that's not a knife?
That's right. So it's a crack-up. I mean, I'll turn on the news and they'll say, you know, 7-Eleven was robbed with a knife, but the people live. That's the thing that I've noticed, which is different. But they don't, and they'll give murderers over there like 8 years, so which blows my mind, right? But I look at...
Because it's so hard to murder someone there. You got to stab them and stab them.
That's right.
And plus, it takes forever.
And an Australian life is not worth as much as an American life.
That's true.
Greg, you're on television.
What about my boy Chopper?
Chopper, he lives in my neighborhood.
He does?
Chopper, you know, he's a cat who cut off his ears, right?
Yeah, that son of a bitch isn't playing
games. He was a crazy cat, man.
Now, this Gary Ridgway I don't like.
Oh, the guy in Seattle? Why not?
Because originally he said he killed 60 women, and then it turns out it was 48, and I just hate somebody that has to, like, exaggerate to make themselves look better.
Yeah, big talker, right?
You're right.
Such a turn-off.
Plus, that's the record now. So if you're a psychopath or a sociopath, you know, like, I want to do like things. Oh, I'm at 45, you know, 60, right. you know, I'm not going to do that.
And he did the most in the first 3 years, and he laid off for like 8 years. I mean, this guy has a real willpower.
He shouldn't go to jail. He should get a medal for stick-to-itiveness.
Get off of me, you pig!
Get off of you, pig! You're as bad as Giraldo in the next segment. Now listen, let's see what some folks on the street had to say about the old Green River Killer.
He took, what, 13 lives, 11, 14, 40-something, 48 lives? Let's get rid of him.
Now, we should have hookers actually come to his cell, beat him down a couple of days.
He deserves what he gets. Me, personally, I castrate him. I castrate him and cut his fingers off.
Apparently, he likes to kill women because he doesn't like women. But when I think men don't like women like that, there's really a deep-seated reason. And they really love women.
They wrote a book about that, didn't they? I started reading that book, and I lost it after.
I think you should excuse yourself.
Hey, fellas, shoot any dope lately?
I just want to say that the first guy with the teeth issue, he should go on Extreme Makeover.
Let me just say something.
You know, at the
Is there
end,
anything in that tape that didn't have a teeth issue? The whole tape did.
The ultra extreme.
Personally, I tell you what I do. I castrate him, God, over his speak.
You know what bugs me about this whole thing is that we're allowed to negotiate, right? Because they only had evidence on 7 murders, and they knew he was probably connected to the others, so the victims' families wanted closure. They wanted to know where their loved ones were buried. But so we had to let him negotiate. You know, isn't there a way to get him? I mean, can't we make his prison life more unpleasant so that he's forced to tell? I mean, it just seems absurd. The guy's responsible for 50 murders.
That is what free trade is about. And if you go to a Coldplay concert, that's what Chris Martin is talking about with the free trade free.
Is that what it is?
That pain in the ass.
I thought it was just about being a boring musician.
But if you were a parent, the real question is if you were a parent and they said, all right, you can find out if your daughter has been killed.
Yes.
You got to let them live.
You want to know.
What would you do?
Yes, you want to know.
Can't they just put him in a cell with like Mule Johnson or something?
But there's no. But who's gonna look? He's an old guy. Doesn't look that good. You know, you're not so sure anyone's gonna.
I'd do him. I'd do him in a second.
I would do it. Look,
I also love that there's serial death penalty in Seattle seems sort of. I mean, doesn't everyone try to kill themselves there anyway?
Yeah, it's the suicide capital. It is a suicide. That rain, the rain does.
Yeah, you know, he also this guy killed all prostitutes apparently. The murder killer. So maybe there's a silver lining in all this, and maybe at least it could serve as a wake-up call to all the young girls out there dreaming of one day being prostitutes. You know, to remind them that it's not all glitz and glamour.
They can raise the bar a little bit.
that old Julia Roberts moment.
Right.
Well, another thing is. He killed women of all races.
Yeah.
And they asked him why. He said, I'm not a racist, basically. So he's into diversity.
That's how the Benetton stores got to be so popular.
Say what?
The Benetton
Let me ask you this
stores.
about the Patriot Act.
It was a Benetton.
Greg, you're a lawyer, or at least our legal mind, or you were a lawyer. Well, you tell us you're a lawyer and we believe you. I don't know what the story is.
Okay.
But what do you think about this Patriot Act used against a strip club?
Well, it's ridiculous. It really is absurd because all of us, well, most of us, agreed, had no problem with the Patriot Act because we thought it was only going to rob constitutional rights from Arabs. You know, it's not supposed to apply to decent American, hard-working, upstanding Vegas strip club owners.
Plus, terrorists are looking for virgins, and they're not going to find them in the strip clubs, okay?
But then again, last night wasn't a strip club.
This is one thing, the liberals have been screaming about this slippery slope with the Patriot Act, and this is one thing I agree with them on. I want this used to stop terrorism, not for the FBI to investigate what kind of fluids I paid a hooker to drip on me. There's no reason for this to be used for any of that stuff.
That's your private.
There's no reason for this to be used for that.
But actually, that does highlight. Maybe there could be a terror connection with strip clubs then, because all that silicone. If it were to end up in the wrong hands, it's very toxic. You know, these guys just drop a couple leaky strippers in a reservoir.
Right.
First of all, wow.
So a woman just be walking down the street and just blow up like that.
Well, they were. I mean, Muhammad Atta and all the 9/11 guys had spent time in strip clubs.
That was the last night.
They loved it. They had a riot that last night.
Was it true 20 seconds ago when I said it too?
Yes, yes.
What happened to the party? What's going on? I was having fun.
I was just trying to be funny and also point out that I did say it. Not that you stole it, Greg, but everybody's like, you know, I did say it and then you did say it first.
That's true,
that's true.
But I never pay attention at the beginning.
That was so threatening.
No, not the beginning. What was threatening? Because I said F.
Well, hi, call me.
I'm crazy, man.
I know.
Okay, folks, you go experience the utopian vision of commercials. I'll stay here alone with these people. There's a college in Iowa that gave school funds to a student S&M club called Cuffs, okay? Now, my question is this where you people want your educational dollars to go? Let's face it. Now, we all like whatever we like. Here we go, young fella. Oh, yes. But does that mean, I mean, what's the difference? What point does education, miss, you don't, who's got, oh, good. Who's mic'd? You? Oh, miss. Put a mic on somebody. No, we're just going to talk. Well, I'm going to talk while he kind of, well, nibbles up your legs. You don't care, do you? Now, listen, miss. I think this kind of behavior is fine if that's what he likes. You're going to have to tell him when to stop because I'm not going to. I think it's good, right? What do you think? It's kind of comforting in a way, right? Reassuring, like having a little pet, baby. No? Yes.
Okay, it's okay.
There you go. It's kind of nice. All right.
Okay,
please, down boy. What do you think, pretty young, huh?
You could have picked someone in the skirt, you creep.
All right. Oh, they're ungrateful. Kathy, what are your thoughts on college-funded clubs while me and Jimmy go back there? You can talk now, Kathy.
I'm sorry, Frank and I were talking about...
What are your thoughts on Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, the programs? Well, I mean, normally it's an annoying program, you know, the Cuffs group and all that. And the chances are that the women who are in that group probably like strippers and porn stars are probably incest survivors just acting out.
Yes.
But I think, you know, you got to have the college groups. You know what I mean? I love my gays. You got to have the gay transgender groups. They got to be able to put on Blood Brothers and have a reasonable budget. You know what I'm talking about. So even though it's annoying, I think they should have the $94 to have their S&M group.
But don't you think it's just nonsense? Any groups in college? Everybody's just supposed to go to school and learn. You're not supposed to have stupid clubs in school. It's annoying.
You can learn something from that. I could have used the club. I could have used a class like that. But recently, I had a girlfriend that liked to be strangled. I had never done that. She said, "You got to strangle me while we're doing it," you know. And I said, "Hey, you know, you better be enjoying this because I'm facing 25 to life," you know.
Yeah, but you're not a kid. That's what blows me away about these clubs. These are 18-year-old kids, college kids. It seems a little early to be bored with just regular sex. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I mean, they're not leaving themselves a lot of wiggle room for 8 years into the marriage.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm all for any club, though, that at the end of the exam you get a certificate and a rape kit. I think that's terrific.
Oh, Jim!
Jim!
Oh, Jim!
That is inappropriate.
Ah! Oh. Now listen, let's do about your show. Average Joe is the new reality program hosted by Kathy. It shows how a beautiful woman could put aside her looks and fall in love with a, you know, an ugly bastard. I don't know how else to put it. Here's a clip. Ready?
I believe that you guys represent the real men of America. Yeah. Maybe there's a little stomach, maybe there's a couple of love handles, some hair where it shouldn't be, but that's all right. She might be expecting a group of like modelly, gorgeousy, perfect 10s. And instead she's gonna get you guys.
All right, so Kathy, what's
that was terrible. I didn't write that. I feel awful.
But what's the whole story of this show? Is it really news that women would go?
Yeah, it's all about how women, gorgeous women, always say it's just about personality and a sense of humor, and they never mean it, and neither does she.
Oh, really?
Well, no. She likes the guys. They're good.
She likes them like his brothers and stuff.
Well, of course you have to watch, but there's some making out in the jacuzzi.
But
there's not none of this. The's not like a ball in his mouth or anything like that.
Speaking of which, Jim, to put it politely, you're an average Joe.
Yeah. What do you think you are, stupid?
Hey!
You're a 5 with a television show.
Well phrased, Jim.
That's pretty good.
Well, what do you guys think? Don't you think it's kind of like, of course a woman would fall, the reverse would be the hard show to have.
The reverse is the one that they'll never do, and that's what gets me. Because I don't want to see me there in the bathing suit with some guy projectile vomiting.
But I don't think that's true, because I read somewhere where you said they would never have a show where like a great-looking guy had to pick from an ugly girl. I think you could do it. The guy would just have to be drunk.
Yeah. He's
You
right.
are a pig.
You pig.
You're a pig.
You're a pig,
So
Greg.
are you. What are you doing?
No, he's a pig. He's a pig.
Too.
Oh, I didn't laugh at that. I thought that was nonsense. There's a height of piggery.
You're so sensitive.
The
They're all
height of
pigs.
piggery. When you hear this, groundbreaker. There's a new reality series starring a porn. It's called How to Be a Porn Star. It's going to be rated R. 28 women compete for a job as a porn star.
I'm sick of, you know, porn. They're taking all the fun out of life. There's the reality shows about porn. Porn is taking over, you know, pop culture, and it's ruining all the fun. It used to be if you just saw like a panty line, that was enough to get you aroused. Now it's like, now I got to see the Olsen twins in a snuff film just to get going.
That's true.
And the bad thing is they can only do.
All right, we'll be right back. If you don't watch commercials, you don't know what to say when that guy at work. Oh, screw it. We'll be right back.